Welcome to another video on just general topics dealing with health and with the approach of taking ownership of your own health, exploring, finding out new information, and sharing it. So what I want to share today is a discussion about essential fatty acids. Okay, so if we want to look at what fatty acids are in our diet and what they are and how they work. And I want to zero in specifically on a group of fatty acids called essential fatty acids. And these are nutrients that we have to source by food. We have a variety of other fatty acids in our bodies that we can generate. We can create ourselves or recombine with other things, but there are a few that we need. And I'm going to talk about these particular ones. But as usual, I just want to take a moment just to say that this is a journey of exploration, sharing, and it's not really intended to be medical advice, except that if you are looking, you might want to take it as, what one person is experiencing and then add it to yours, but always share it with your health provider if you have any serious issues. But the bulk of it comes down to you're the one who has to do whatever it is that is necessary for your own health. Okay, so let's just take a look at it a bit deeper. So I'll just go and share the whole screen. There we go. Okay, so when we're talking about essential fatty acids, we're talking about a group of acids, or fats rather, that are polyunsaturated. Now, if you want to know what polyunsaturated means, you can just search for that and look it up. But a simple way of putting it, these are fats rather, that tend to be liquid at room temperature. They're very, very soft acids. And they're not like fats, rather, not like some of the traditional fat that you would find, say, in bacon or in other foods. So these are your liquid fats, but there's two in particular, or two families of these fatty acids that we need, and they play a really key role in our health. And one is called an Omega3 family of acids, of fats, and Omega6s. Okay? So when you go online and you hear people talk about Omega3, Omega6, there is this tendency, I've noticed, to make something good or something bad. We talked about this when we were looking at cholesterol. We talked about good cholesterol and bad. Well, it's not a matter of one being good or one being bad. It's the quantity. It's the ratio. So it's the same thing here with Omega3, Omega6. So these are these acids, fatty acids that we have to acquire from foods. And in this slide here, they're giving an example of flaxseed is a good way of getting Omega3, and corn and safflower. I did notice when I was getting these slides that some slides pointed you to animal products, and some slides tended to point you to plant products. Now, I'm not sure, it appears to be some kind of bias here, but I'll try to present both sources of these. Okay, but let's look at what's going on here. So you have these two oils or fats, and the omega-6 has a specific, what they call, pathway in our body. So when we receive it, it goes through a very specific series of steps. And the same thing with the omega-3, they call pathways or steps. If you look at the very bottom, you'll notice that the omega-6s end with an inflammatory response, and the omega-3s end with a non-inflammatory response. So let's take a closer look at that. And what you'll notice as being important here is that these two fatty acids are almost yin and yang. Okay, the kind of opposite, so one undoes the other. You need the inflammatory response if you have any injury or if you have any illness. The inflammatory response, which is encouraged with the omega-6s, allows for your lymph to arrive at the site and to do whatever healing. So you need the inflammatory response. The opposite to that is the deflammatory or the healing with the omega-3s. So omega-3s tend to promote a decrease in inflammation, and the omega-6s tend to increase inflammation. Both part of the standard healing process. So you have this inflammatory reaction and you have this anti-inflammatory reaction. So it's really the proportion. So here you see two examples of the proportions. On the left, you see that they're talking about what would be considered normal, about a 2-to-1 ratio. I've heard other people say that it should be 1-to-1. It should be balanced in terms of the amount in your body. So what you'll find when you look around is that the typical American diet tends to be weighted on inflammatory omega-6 ingredients or fatty oils, as high as 20 times, 20 to 1 rather, ratio, which is way off the scale. So you need to look at that. I'm taking the approach that we'll assume that we're getting plenty of omega-6 in our diet, and that the issue is that we're not getting enough omega-3. So we'll just focus on how do we increase the omega-3, and typically that's probably true for most people. However, to know for sure, you really need to run some blood tests and consult with your doctor to know exactly where you're running. So let's just look a bit deeper at that. In order to get your omega-3s, most people suggest seafood, salmon, and for omega-6 you can get it from some grains and salmon. And then here's one that's kind of slipped in on me. I didn't see this coming, an omega-9, which has to do with balancing your insulin. So all three oils are really important, and it turns out to be relatively easy to get these. Again, let's just assume that you're getting plenty of omega-6, and unless noted by your doctor, you're getting plenty of omega-9. It's the omega-3 that most people have difficulty with. And so to get your omega-3, you can just look at eating more fish. But one I find is really interesting is when you look down here at the bottom, you'll see that you'll need about a gram and a half per day. Is this recommended daily allowance? About a gram, and that's not a lot. I mean, you can get that relatively easily. And here's a couple of examples of how to get that omega-3 balance in your diet. Is there just include something like walnuts. So I started eating every day just a little handful, 20 to 30 grams of almonds. Walnuts, and I use that as a treat. So if I want like a little snack during the day, I've got this little bowl. I put about 20 to 30 grams of walnut, and that's my omega-3 for the day. I also eat flax seeds as a snack. I have a little bowl of flax seeds, and I'll just take a few and just chew on them like a candy, and but I think the most efficient one is the walnuts. Now, if you don't want to eat nuts and grains to get your omega-3, you can just eat fish, and the fish with the highest amount of omega-3 is considered to be the wild salmon. And you'll see some disputes about farm salmon and wild salmon. My understanding is that wild salmon are high in omega-3s is because they eat a lot of plankton. Hacha, plankton, eh? Some more of a plant-based thing. So in this particular article I saw that if you have a serving of fish, twice a week, you'll probably get your full serving of omega-3 and 6. So it's interesting. Growing up as a kid, it was quite common to see people would have their fish on Friday. Once a week, they would have their fish. So that's pretty much it, talking about how to balance your omega-3 and omega-6 of your essential fatty oils. And I hope you found that interesting. And again, I'll keep pumping out these little videos about different things related to health, and these are all things that I personally am doing myself. And again, if you want to support my work, give me a hand, just go to www.buymeacoffee.com and buy me a coffee. That being said, I wish everyone a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.